everybody, it's Josie with Ozark Mountain Goats. As you can see, we are back home. I'm in my own kitchen, and as nice as it is to visit other places, it's always great to be back home. So today I want to do some canning, and back in November we were challenged by CJ over at Schick Happens to put together a video of our 5 top quick and easy go-to meals. And one of those meals was Reuben sandwiches. And that spurred a couple of comments and questions from people about how I can corned beef. So we don't have an Aldi store nearby, but on our drive home from Florida, we went right past several of them, and we ended up stopping and picking up some corned beef. So this is what I'm going to do today. And these corned beef packages come with seasoning in them. So I'm going to get them opened up, cut up all the meat, and get my jars stuffed, and then I'll divide up the seasonings and we'll go from there. So as you can see here, these are the 2 packets of seasonings that came with the meat. Not a whole lot, so I'm going to open them both up, put it in this little cup here, and see what I've got. And once I get my jars stuffed, then I'll divide it evenly. It may be only 1/4 of a teaspoon or something like that. It just kind of depends on what it comes out to. I think I've got about 7.5 pounds of meat here. So typically a pint will hold about 3/4 of a pound if you stuff it real tight. So I'm thinking maybe 10 jars or so, but we'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull this meat out and start just cutting it into chunks. I don't necessarily need all this fat, so I am going to trim some of it off. My favorite way to use this meat is on Reuben sandwiches, and I don't want all this fat on my sandwich. So once you get it trimmed up like you want, then it's just a matter of cutting it into cubes. And then I literally just stuff it in my pint jars. I can get, depending on the size of the bread and how much meat you like on them, I can get probably 3 to 4 nice sized sandwiches out of a pint. So that works out pretty well for us. Now I like to can corned beef in February or March because it's usually readily available because of St. Patrick's Day. So be sure and check your grocery stores. I know Aldi carries it, and I'm sure your other local grocery stores will too. Now you'll need to have a pressure canner for this. Your jars do not have to be sterile, but they need to be clean. This one has a really big fat cap on it, so I don't think I'm going to get as many jars as I had originally planned on. Yeah, look how much fat is on that. That's a lot. That's kind of a bummer. Alright, now I'm just going to stuff these jars real good. And like I thought, there was a lot more fat on that than I realized. So word of warning, check out your brisket before you buy it. Make sure that it's not real fatty. I measured out my 2 packets of seasoning, and it's almost a tablespoon. So I've only got 6 jars here, so I'm going to put just a scant 1/2 teaspoon in each one, and that should be enough. Now I'm choosing not to add any salt to this because it does come kind of in a salt brine already, and with all these seasonings, I just don't think I'll need it. Whoops. Next thing I need to do is top these up with boiling water. Take your plastic knife and go around the edges real well and get out any air bubbles, and then add more water as needed. Now you want to go around each jar and clean off the rim. Make sure you've left adequate headspace. And we are ready for lids. You want your rings fingertip tight. Now for my elevation, I'm just under 1,000 feet. These need to process in the pressure canner for 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. And I had my big canner up here earlier, but because I only got 6 jars, I'm switching to a smaller canner so it won't take so long. Now I've got an All-American canner that happens to be my favorite, but be sure and follow the instructions on the type of canner that you're using. So we'll get these going and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when we're all finished. Smells really good in here. Okay, all done. 6 pints of corned beef. I hope this video has helped you and maybe given you an idea on how you can add to your food storage at your house. Anyway, please be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and as always, we'll catch you later.